note that all board members are present, and also that the public meetings laws are posted in the office of the clerk. First item on the agenda is comments from the public on agenda items.
Did Donna give you my items I asked her to put on the agenda Saturday?
She mentioned it to me,
Why are they not on the agenda?
because we set the agenda.
Pardon me?
We set the agenda.
Okay, I just want to advise you, now this is on camera, if you are in the fiduciary responsibility position that you have, if you've taken your oath, I assume, to support the Constitution and the laws, then ordinance statute 84-1411 tells me that I've got anything before 24 hours to put something on the agenda. If you don't hear it, it's a violation on your behalf.
All right, so noted.
Okay,
We set the agenda.
cool. Your violations look good.
Okay, well, you do what you have to do.
Oh, I'm going to.
Roll call we've had. Is that the only comment? This
Yeah.
is the agenda.
Yeah, well, get your attorney,
Better get a good one.
Right.
because it's all
Oh,
of
you think we're kidding?
I frankly don't care
See, that's just it. Nobody ever cares.
whether you're
None of you
kidding
care.
or not kidding.
None of you, all you do, every single one of you just nod your heads every time he says anything.
Well, that's not going to last very
Develop
much
your
longer.
own
You can keep-
opinion. Where's my grass for my ditch you were gonna plant a year
We're not
ago?
going to talk about it.
No, we need to talk about it. It was put on the agenda. And the
I
law
asked
says
for
we
it to
put it on the agenda.
The clerk does not establish the agenda.
No, it doesn't. The law says if we put it on the agenda, have it given to her, then you don't have a choice. You don't have that luxury, Chief.
Well,
You got
I
it?
guess we'll find out.
And we're going to find out. You're not what you think you are.
Well,
You're not all
I
that.
am.
You're not all that. That's okay. That's okay.
Are we done with the threats?
It's not a threat, Chief. It's fact. Get an attorney. You're in violation of law,
Okay, fine.
punk.
Can we continue? Thank you. The first item is Lagoon Project, and we've got Tyler Doan here tonight, so I think I'm going to let him speak to the construction progress report, since he's probably spent more time out there than anybody here.
Okay, we got the pay application number 1 on the agenda tonight. Base of Van Kirk got started here, mid-August, I think, doing the dirt work. They've gotten pretty far. You get your 2 lagoons on the hill, and they're kind of working their way up the hill. More or less got the the bottom one, the west one about complete, and the east one's about halfway done. They got the access road all in there, so there's a nice rock road. If you guys want to go check it out, you're more than welcome to. You can get down there pretty easily now. Look at things. And they're working on the barbed wire fence. Last week had quite a bit of it up. Have they gotten to the access road yet, or
No.
not yet? But I think other than that, they've been moving along pretty good. Got some silk fence up, which is good because it keeps raining on them every other day, it seems like. So, but tonight,
What percentage of the dirt work out there at the lagoon site would you say was complete at this point?
percentage-wise, I'd say they're probably about 3/4 of the way done.
Okay.
So, we're getting compaction tests as we build up the berms. Mid-States, who's doing the geotechnical work, has been out a few times. Basically, the process for us to put a lagoon into service is we got to take these permeability tests to make sure it's a tight clay liner. They've been getting those as they go, and we'll get those results, and those are what we got to basically send into the state with the completion of the plans and everything. So I'd say they're about 75% done there. You guys may notice some green, I think they're green laths. That's the route of the force main. The lift station's over here, and the force main's gonna go out there. So that's what all those stakes are. They haven't given me a date when they'll come in and do that. So it'll probably be a couple weeks yet anyway. So for tonight's payment is for, I didn't put a percentage on here, but it's for $91,377. It includes some of their mobilization, some of their tree removal. They moved quite a few trees out there. Dirt work, of course, and some of their silt fence. I guess another note, me and Mr. Degger met out there, last week, and we kind of took a ride around the site so we could kind of see the extents
Yeah,
of where the fence was going to go.
Might have been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a few, several. Look at the extents of the property and where the fence was going to go and everything, and we kind of adjusted the fence, in a few feet on a couple sides. There's quite a few trees on that south side and that, and on the east side. I think I sent you a word change directive on that, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it was an email.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's huge. Just noting that we were going to make a couple of minor changes there. So.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, I think it'd be easier to maintain your fence in the future. That's kind of why we scooted it
Northwest
over a little
corner
bit.
of the property would have, the corner fence post would have been in that wash, right smack dab in the middle of the wash. So we relocated the fence to some degree. It's not on the property line. It's up so that when the water comes down through there, there's less likelihood, at least less likelihood that the fence will be washed out. That isn't to say that it still can't be washed out, and almost certainly will have stuff hanging on it, but
we'll get, at the end of the project, we'll get some as-built and, so originally I think the fence was in on the two sides, it is like 1 foot off your property line. But on the other couple sides, it's like 4 foot off your property line. So just so everybody's aware, we'll have that for the future when everybody forgets about that stuff. So. So other than that, everything looking good to you guys? Any questions or issues?
it was up
To date?
Saturday. You know,
We're gonna have a project.
so there's a progress, monthly progress meeting tomorrow morning at 11.
Yep.
So there'll be 1 or 2 board members attending that.
Okay. Good.
Okay?
I think that, so that's all I had for you. I went through the pay app, it all looks to be in order, so I guess, I'd recommend to the board,
We
to
want
go
that
ahead
as a separate action item
and
then.
approve this, yeah.
All right, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move we pay Van Kirk $91,377.
Okay, is there a second? Okay. Got a motion and a second to pay the claim from Van Kirk, the first pay application on the recommendation of the architect engineer. Any further discussion?
I do have something to say. I think we're going to be getting out of our grant, so USDA is also going to have to approve this bill.
Yep, they'll approve everyone, I guess, regardless.
Right, so the motion needs to say pending USDA approval.
And they'll be here tomorrow, that's kind of
The motion statement.
Yes, it's amended to that.
that's kind of the reason we're having it tomorrow, at that time, so they can, sign it themselves and get the funds processing, so.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the claim or the pay application pending USDA approval. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call the question. Marge?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you. I'll have you,
Thank you.
you got a signed form, you want to do it now or after the meeting, or?
Get you on your way.
Right here.
So this one that I copied off is just a copy.
Yep, just for
We'll
you.
get one of those when they're all paid.
USDA
Okay.
likes original signatures. So, you know, yeah, hand back to you guys. I'll bring them all back tomorrow.
Right,
for,
right, and it's at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tyler.
Shame on me, let's get back to the budget hearing. And we'll open the budget hearing at 8:10 PM. Mr. Watson has prepared the budget along the lines of budget of past years, with the exception that there's approximately $1 million of flow-through money for the lagoon project, both on the receipt and obviously on the expenditure side. Beyond that, as I previewed this prior to the meeting, the sewer and water divisions of the budget are supposed to be self-supporting, and you can see he's got $48,000 in sewer receipts and $30,600 in water receipts. So that's approximately $75,000 up. Is that right? Yeah, $75,000 in of the $151,000 receipts, not to include the lagoon project money. The significance of that is that leaves $50,000 in receipts. The highway allocation funds, property tax, state aid, and Nebraska Public Power District receipts to fund the other areas of the budget. So, you know, as long as we're going to support as we have in the past, and some of that, you know, even though we get $22,000 in highway allocation monies, that doesn't necessarily always cover the cost of the street projects. So, or we may have to supplement. All we can say is that the 22,000 or 25 or whatever's the figure has to go for streets.
And it also has to be matched, that out. What is it, 25% on of it, we have to be able to.
Kick in.
Yeah.
So we're not exempt from
That has to come from
chipping in on
someplace,
it.
someplace out of our.
Beyond that, we've got the park, the library, the fire department, and the general fund. And I'm skipping around a little bit, but if you want to look at, I mean, looking at the budget, the far right-hand figure are on the sheets are the proposed figures. We have several columns of actual figures going back to the 2013 fiscal year. Page 3, line 209 shows the actual expenditures over that period of time, the total disbursements, and you can see it's gone from 90,000 in 2008 to 444,000 last year, but some of that obviously was project money. This budget calls for expenditures of $440,000, but that includes, beyond the receipts, the cash balance that we've built up over the last several years. So the total beginning balance, or the total ending balance has gone up considerably during that same half dozen years. The beginning cash balance in '08 was $126,000. In '14 it was $263,000. So with that kind of overview, does anybody have any questions?
No.
first item on in the hearing as far as action is to approve a 1% increase. That increases our spending authority, I guess. It doesn't amount to much on a budget this size, but it's probably a good idea to do that. It requires 4 or 5 board members to vote in favor of. If we don't do that, then the budget would have to be republished, because he's already figured that in. So, anybody have any thoughts, questions? The monies are kind of just sort of arbitrarily put in there. The thing that you want to look at is what the history of expenditures is, which is listed. You've given a several-year history. For the future, he's put the money in several different areas. That isn't to say that's where the money will be spent necessarily. It doesn't require that it be spent from any particular fund. Those monies can be moved around within the budget. So,
I'll move we accept the 1% increase.
okay.
I'll second that motion to accept the 1% increase.
Have a motion and a second to increase the spending authority by 1%. Any further discussion on that? If not, Mark?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Marge?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Mel votes yes. Okay. The budget as a whole, any thoughts? Really isn't too much to say. I think he's got the figure over here where we are limited to 45% or 45 cent levy, and they're projecting, I think he's projecting a 43 cent change levy.
We're supposed to do it ourselves.
No, no,
No,
no.
I don't think so.
43. That's right at the end of line 241.
The village.
The levy is
All washed out. It's rubber.
I'm right in there in the 45 cent range. So,
That's the limit, but you can.
is there a motion to approve the budget as presented by the accountant?
I'll move. Oh, go ahead.
I'll move to approve the budget as presented by our accountant Marlon Watson as presented to us.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, call the question. Jeremy?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Marge?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. And we'll close the hearing at approximately 8:18. Next item is claims treasurer's report and minutes. I had a couple corrections, or I guess the one that you got, I guess the one that was handed out was correct. One that was mailed out was not correct, but it's been corrected.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. He's not worth my time. He's a fucking idiot. Of the worst kind. You know that. You just go for legal. Fine.
I guess we don't have a bill from Pullman Electric for that
No, that's not the.
work
I'm
done
not
on the
sure.
library.
I'll get those other bills together this week for you, Steve.
Wonder why they're delayed on that.
I don't know why, they didn't take it down there either, did they? I'll call them tomorrow. Maybe you can claim it over tonight. be,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
way nicer than what it's there.
Mhm.
They were before they were busted. I'll move to accept claims treasurer's report in minutes.
Motion a second. Any questions? Discussion?
They're on the end of the lawsuit.
I'll call the question. Marge?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Jeremy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Yes. All vote yes. Okay, the sidewalk repair, I've talked to Dakin Lumber about doing the work. I had talked to him earlier about it, and I guess I didn't really emphasize that we wanted the work done, and they didn't act like they were very interested in doing it. Then when Mike Van Kirk was here for our pre-construction meeting, he indicated a little bit of interest, but nothing came of that. So I went back to Dakin Lumber, and they said, well, I wish you would have told us that initially. And I said, well, if you'd have shown a little more interest, I might have. So basically, we're on the list. But, I don't know where we are on the list. But we're on
Or
the
winter
list.
possibly.
The plywood kind of solved the problem as far as any immediate concern. But want to get it done as quickly as possible, I think.
We're on the list for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do think that water's draining down to the south, to the Legion. It's working, it just caved in. And so it's not going to be as so involved as if it weren't open at all, you know what I mean? All right, Marge, you can kind of give an overview of this community air conditioner.
Well, when they had Rainey's memorial service over there at the window air conditioner that the community club purchased, probably burned out when we were having the breaker problem.
Before we got that fixed.
Yeah, it's probably been shorting out the whole time with stuff over there. Because I did find the refrigerators off with that breaker thrown and stuff, and I told you about that. And yeah, I guess I had.
Family center in it.
I told you earlier, went in there one day and they were all, thought it was kids, but then it wasn't probably kids. It was probably what was going on over there with it.
Well, we got the breaker fixed.
Yeah, that's what this is. And he fixed a couple other things over there that were not quite right, so.
Okay.
But should put us in fair shape now, it shouldn't. But it did, the window air conditioner they purchased is shot. I was visiting with Jim about that, and we were trying to think when we put that furnace in there that we talked about that being a furnace that they could put a central on, didn't we? But that window was new at the time. So, you know, maybe it's something we need to have Dwayne look at for us
As opposed to
as a
window air
Yeah.
conditioner.
Seriously,
I don't
spend
know.
$4,000 on an air conditioning unit on a building that nobody ever uses?
The family uses it.
That's
I
something
don't know
we
what to do.
pursue. We're kind of out of the air conditioning. Now would be the time to get some costs.
Right, see what it would cost.
Okay.
That's about all we can do.
Well, we've talked around. The next item is this community center vandalism claim. We've, the Dakin lumber bill for the window replacement is gotten down to the insurance, but apparently Pullman, which had the meter replacement, is not. And we've got a couple other minor things, but all the work, well, I guess everything but the paint has been done.
Mhm.
The window, or the storm
I don't
door.
know about the people that help, because their hours want to be volunteer or what, 'cause there's a lot of
All I
hours.
said was all you had to do was estimate the number of volunteer
Okay,
hours.
we just estimated, okay.
Yeah,
I
You
can
don't
do
have
that
to
for
give
you.
the name of how
Oh,
many
okay,
people
fine.
or anything.
Yeah, we'll make a statement of that, and I imagine most of them will probably, may not even
It
accept
might be
it, I don't
nice to
know.
finish that up here.
Yeah, it would be.
Because I think,
They're probably wanting to get it finished.
well, I haven't heard anything from
Mhm.
them lately. Okay. We've got a couple building permits. One is from Mrs. DeWald, who is putting up a grain bin, I guess, but is within a mile of the village.
Mhm.
This letter is to inform you of the construction of a grain bin from Mrs. Doris DeWall on her property. This is within 1 mile jurisdiction, which will I'm informing you of the construction. The site has been inspected by me and a Norris Public Power representative. We are approving the application. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me at above address. Doesn't say we have to approve
I
this.
don't think we have to.
It's just informing us of the,
It's in our
Fact.
jurisdiction, yeah.
okay. On the other hand, we have one from Jim Van Weston on the building he put up by his house there.
Going for the,
Oh, this is the future?
yes,
Oh, okay.
gonna just be a carport.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Enclosed one, right? No.
Yeah, it will be eventually.
Okay, enclosed you'll find a zoning permit application for Mr. James Van Weston of 203 6th Street. Mr. Van Weston is planning on constructing a 20 by 22 foot storage building north and west of his existing home. I've inspected the site, reviewed the setbacks for the area. The current location of the flags in the enclosed pictures is not correct. The minimum required setback from the neighbor's property line is a minimum of 5 feet, and the flags do not represent the required setback. I have visited with Mr. Van Weston on this issue and is willing to comply with the regulations and construct his building to meet the 5-foot minimum requirement. I am recommending approval of this application. And so,
I'll move we approve that application for James Van Weston to put up
look
the,
at it there.
what I
Yes.
asked earlier, the 2022 storage building on his property.
Okay. Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Wait a second. Any questions? It's been pretty standard that we approve those if they're approved by the county, so. Call the question. Mark?
Yes.
Jeremy? Jeremy? Jim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Well and pump test contract with Sergeant Drilling. Is this,
Mr. Chairman, let me put that in with my little bit of my report.
okay,
I'll just go with my report first. My water samples and stuff have been good. We haven't had a discharge in the month of August. The only month we discharged out at the lagoons was in June. Donna got the letter, Sergeant was down and did the efficiency test on both wells. You probably saw the bill in there for $450. I'll read a little bit what he had to say. The old well down here, it said the average pump efficiency is 55%. The well is producing 21 gallons a foot per drawdown. It's down slightly from a year ago. The flow meter reads about 11% high, and he calls this very accurate. The well up by the tower, the average pumping efficiency is 67%. Says this is very good. The well is producing 59 gallons of water per foot of drawdown. This is the same as last year. The flow meter reads a little bit high, about 6%. They found absolutely nothing wrong, so, I mean, we do this every year, and I think it's a good contract to have. That way, if you have a problem someplace down the road, they're gonna catch it.
Is it a contract per se? That is to say, written contract or?
Yeah, and we'll have a new one next month.
I
What
know.
is it,
It's ours
3 years,
is up.
5 years?
I-
Is that every year? No.
No, I think it's every 3 or 5 years, but I'll have it for next meeting, because this was the last of our contract.
Ellen, is that a requirement of the state that we do these, isn't it? That people have to check their wells and stuff?
You gotta do them once every 3 years,
Okay,
for
yeah.
sure.
But you can pick up a problem
Yeah.
between if you don't. Yeah.
There's other companies out there, and I don't know how reliable they are, but, I mean, Sargent is close. If the guy's got a problem, they're right here. They service 99% of the communities in this area.
Well, they're familiar
Yeah,
with our wells, which is,
It's not broke. don't
and our and the controls, they know. That's basically all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
No, they've been pretty responsive when we did have a problem.
Mhm.
Okay, Reynolds Oil, at that time of the year, if we want a contract for any propane, with Reynolds Oil, gives you the prepaid price. But you have to lock in, no specific gallons, but 20 cents per gallon, whatever you lock in. If you prepay for all of it, it's $1.42, but I don't know anybody that does that.
we locked in last year. Didn't, and
Well, we did
We
some.
did it, I thought we did
We
a
did
1,000
some,
it
gallons.
yeah.
wasn't that much,
Right.
was it?
Right,
So
and
we
you can't
lost-
carry, you've gotta, you paid
Use
for
it or
what
lose
you,
it.
use it or lose it, there you go,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, we lost it last year. I mean, we would have been a winner last year by locking probably,
Yeah,
but you never know. It's a gamble.
How many gallons did we lock?
1,000.
I think it was 1,000 last year.
Pretty sure it was 1,000.
We used that and then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we locked in, and, we knew we were gonna use that,
Right,
Yeah.
that's why we did.
Yeah,
but when we ran out, then we paid more.
we paid more because it was high last year.
How many gallons did we use? Do you
I
know?
couldn't tell you.
Well,
And we got a deadline on locking it here properly.
Yeah, September 15th.
Oh,
I say we lock in at least 1,000 gallons again. We'll use it, even if it's a warm winter.
yeah, no wonder I don't.
Farmer's Almanac says no.
I know.
We're gonna have
It's
more
gonna be
snow.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be 31
I don't
degrees.
think there's anything wrong with hedging
Friday.
that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
31,
you're
38.
about guaranteed.
So we, we'll use a
Right.
1,000, you know,
Too
being.
It might have been in 1 or 2 years when the propane price dropped below the contract. price.
Right.
Mhm. They always say if you stay in the program for the
Hasn't
winter,
it?
you know, the averages will work out if you stay in it. You think 1,000, or you think 1,200 or something like that, or you think
It's
1,000 is a pretty safe figure.
At
We'll
least,
use that
at least
guarantee.
1,000.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to go up to 1,500.
that's what I'm wondering. That we don't lose it
We'll
either.
use that too.
Needed to go more than 1,000.
I
Mhm.
don't know what the magic number would be.
They should be able to top our tanks out for the spring if
Right.
we're there.
Maybe, well, we don't have a chance. There's only time to fiddle around.
Because we've got one,
You'd have to go
two,
back
three.
through the several
Four, we got 5
monthly
tanks
billings
that
to
fail.
find out how many.
I can look.
It's-
I think they put in a couple times was all that
Oh, they did.
we had to pay more for.
There's a couple times more than 1,000, that
Mhm.
doesn't like a lot, Donnie.
Oh, I don't know. You want me to look?
How long would it take you?
Not very long.
So just have
Yeah,
a look
take a
at the
quick
safe
look.
side. I
We'll
mean, I don't
come-
want to lose
We'll come
money on
back
it.
to that.
Yeah. Tell him to give us reports. Donna's not here though.
Have
He's on the
you
way.
given your
You're done
report?
with this
Yeah.
report.
Yeah.
This is it.
Let's just let her look.
Well, I wanted What is this is part of your report in months past, this grant that we applied for, this $10,000 grant to
Security
provide
fences and
some
lighting.
security for that south well house.
Right,
And we have a 10%, actually it's a $9,000
Right.
grant, because we have a
90/10.
10% match. What's the timeline on that?
We've got to have it done by July 31st of next year. Now they raised it to 15,000, and next year we'll apply again. And what a lot of towns are doing is taking that 15,000, well, up to 15 with their 10% match, and going to GPS mapping, and that'd be with the sewer lines, the manholes, the curb stops, all the valves, whatever. I mean, we'd have to give them the information, but they do the work. I've seen like Western's map, they've done a nice job. Jeremy's got one
Yeah, it's very.
over in Dakin. Especially for the next guy that does it, it'd be a lot easier.
Was your thinking windows, door?
Windows and doors
fencing?
and insulation,
With insulation. What about fencing?
and putting a fence all the way across, around it.
Alan,
Yes,
how dangerous is that water line thing sticking up in the yard over there in the ditch by my house? I mean, if that freezes, isn't that supposed to be underground or covered or
it
something?
can be either way. I mean, a lot of people have them high. When you put in a new one, you can adjust it so it's ground level. After so long, it's hard to get them screwed back down. You shouldn't have to worry about water, even if the curb stops leaking a little bit and the tube is full of water. It can freeze on the top, but it's only gonna freeze to the frost line and it isn't gonna bother anything below that.
Okay, because I mean, it's sticking up
Mm-hmm.
that
I've
high
seen
above the
yours,
ground.
What do you got?
We used 2,000 more gallons than we booked.
So we used 3,000 altogether?
I wondered about that.
We paid
Yeah.
$1.55 for some, $1.85, and $2.35.
Yeah, I think we better, I think it's
And
better.
you booked in at $1.40 last year.
Okay.
For the 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That $2 and something, that's a big hurter.
So, with that information, anybody wanna make a motion on how many gallons to lock in at $1.47? Remember, we'll have to we'll have to put 20 cents down.
Or do you want to go at $1.42 and pay for it all?
Well, that kinda goes, but we don't know how much we're gonna use.
But you're gonna get charged for whatever you book.
If you prepay for 100% of it,
Mhm.
you get all of the propane at that price.
Right.
You know, even if it carries over into next year.
So you're just guaranteed that, but you have to come up with $1.42 times how much?
Yeah, whatever gallons, yeah, whatever gallons. And we have to pay that.
Yeah, you save 5.
Well, I know, but you gotta say so many gallons.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
So do you want it at
the other.
$1.42 and pay for
Well, like,
it?
so if it's $2,000 or 2,000 gallons, you send them a check for 2,000 times,
Yeah.
okay.
Or you do 20,
Well, I don't know about the nickel being a big deal, but
No.
when you get to $2.35 versus $1.40, that's sort of significant. I don't care, it's up to you guys, whatever you wanna do.
I booked for years and then I got out of it because I got upset one year because they're really high and then I got back in and I stayed in it. You know, most years I say I'd probably have turned out a winner on it.
Well, I don't know what last year would have been, I don't think it was a severe winter. Might have been an average winter.
I don't think it was severe. Could have been worse, but it wasn't that
2,000
bad.
gallons is what
What we
It is a long way.
3,000 we use. 3,000 we use. If we
Do you
could
go
put-
up and just clear up to that?
I wouldn't do that.
No.
That
Two sounds,
would-
I think two sounds like reasonable. I think it's.
Have what?
But
Prepaid
do you
or?
want to prepay or do we want to pay as it goes? Nickels, 2,000 at nickels, yeah. Mhm.
Or you can also do price protection.
I think we lose on that. I do, I have figured
Muddy the
that.
water.
Okay.
I have figured that, and it has to be, well, it would have to be a big amount like a losing year. It had to be like big dollars, not for 10 years of,
Is this the only one that you can go with, is Reynolds Oil? Can't you go with another company?
Yeah, you could take,
Lichty's, I know that you don't have to lock in no gallons, you just lock into the price.
yeah, but Lichty's, I do Lichty's and it's $1.59,
Yeah,
$1.50.
$1.59.
So, but you gotta take the propane all the way through April, too.
Right.
You're obligated.
I mean, you don't have to buy any.
Well, that's the keep full plan.
Yeah, but see, I'm not usually on that one. I just buy it, when I need it.
All I'm saying is that they're not cheaper.
No, they're not, but at least you don't have to prepay, is what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
You're just
that's
locking in for the gallons that you're using.
Lichty's is 159.
Yeah.
Stanton wasn't that high. I thought they were too high. I was thinking I was 147, I believe. Stanton's, I believe, was one, I don't know, it wasn't quite that high. But we are on a budget that's monthly, whatever it is. Who do you get from Lynn?
Well, no, the difference between
With Dalton's, we did
$1,
Farmers Co-op
$1.40.
last year,
Okay.
but I checked at Stanton's and it seemed like they said theirs was,
5 cents.
Then they were-
151?
No, it's not a big deal.
well, that day it was pricey,
Yeah, it varies
$1.42,
I see.
but he said the lock-in price was probably just gonna be just a hair higher than
It was
that.
bought
The lock-in price
Yeah,
was
it was
probably,
pretty close to what they were charging for the
Rather than
lock
cut a
in.
big
So I
Yeah.
actually
That's what I was thinking.
Somebody
So,
make a motion.
I'll move that,
Got a motion here.
we lock in 2,000 gallons at the $1.47 per gallon with the 20 cent per gallon down payment.
That's $400 down.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to contract with Reynolds Oil, lock in a price of $1.47 for 2,000 gallons, 20 cents per gallon down payment, $400. If there's any, it's pay your money and take your choice, I guess. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Jeremy,
Yes.
Marge,
yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Okay. There's no other business, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Mr. Baker, before you guys do, I just want to say one thing. I want to say that I appreciate Alan Kopitchka and all of you guys going through the time that you had to get my water and my sewer done. I greatly appreciate that. I've had to overcome a lot to get what I've got done. If anybody has a question of what's going on up there, feel free to knock on the door, whether it's 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock in the morning. Come up and ask me. Don't speculate and don't go to other people. If you got a problem with somebody else in the town, keep that between you guys. I'm here. This used to be a community that I was proud to say was a community, but it don't have unity anymore, so it's not really a community. We're doing the best we can up there. If we don't meet your standards and we don't have what you want us to do, if y'all don't want us in town, just give us $8,500 and we'll be out, because that's what we've got invested. Marge, you know the situation. We've talked on the phone before I even came here. I don't want no trouble with anybody. I don't want no hard feelings. I don't want anybody hatred, bitterness. Kevin's health isn't up to par with all this fighting going on. So if there's something that needs to be done, if it's what you say or what you say, I think you guys need to get together and coincide with it and then let me know, because I'm getting so many mixed signals up there and we're doing the best we can up there. And if people don't like it, come up and knock on my door. Grow, you know, have a backbone. Come talk to me. Don't talk to other people, please. That's all I ask.
I've been up.
I know you have.
Just not
And
to
like I
check-
said, if
not to
everybody's
check
got
on what you were
issues,
doing, to check on you guys, see how things.
and we've doing everything, and there's so many different stories going around, and I don't want all this fighting, I don't want all these going and knocking on people's doors and saying this one said this and this one said that. Somebody's got an issue with me, if I got something going on up there, come ask me. We got a trash pile that we gotta get hauled off, and we're doing the best we can to get it out of here, but I think we've done a pretty damn good job up there, the way it looks now. And as long as I've been in Alexandria, Nebraska, when I thought about moving back here, I thought I was moving back to a community where everybody, you know, could help one another.
They don't give a shit about nobody's health. My
You know,
husband's
I'm
had
not
2
sure.
heart
I don't-
attacks and they expect him to
stories
mow that
don't
ditch.
necessarily emanate from the board.
They don't.
I haven't changed my, what I've told you from day one.
Except for you went from the foundation to the skirting, and
Well, that might have been a misunderstanding.
then we've had numerous times that we've had people come and talk to us, and even on the town board that doesn't understand why that they've had to go back and reread the letters you've sent or whatever. But if we had till October 1st to get foundation put up there, you might as well pull the meter now, because it's not going to get done by October 1st before our meter gets pulled.
Did somebody set a timeline?
We were told
You
we had
did,
till
you
October
did.
1st.
October
letter.
1st.
October 1st.
And
to
as
get-
long as the water is paid, you shouldn't have your water turned off.
You sent her a letter.
Well, let me
You
see
don't
the letter.
remember.
I've got it at the house.
Bring in the letter,
We had till
Tina.
October 1st. It was stated we have till October 1st, and
Well,
we
there's a
were,
little problem of weather.
No.
But we were
You
told-
didn't care. You said October 1st.
we were told that the meter pit,
Well, I'd like to see a copy of the letter I wrote.
Mr. Digger,
Donna, do you remember typing out the letter?
I was
She don't type
informed,
nothing.
You don't type it, was the attorney did it?
I was informed that there had to be a meter pit put
They're
in,
not smart enough.
and that we had till October
heard what I
1st,
said.
or the meter would have to be pulled, because you guys were not gonna get the meter pit put in until then, but the foundation had to go up before the meter pit would be put in. And they gave us till
that
October
was
1st to
correct.
do that. That is
That would
right
have
there,
been correct.
okay. So, with that being said, it's not going to probably be done, as you're saying, by October 1st. There's no way we're gonna get that foundation done with all the money that we've already been out on this property up there. With losing the home, that original home that was supposed to go on there, we've already been out that. Nothing said against any one of you in general as one's done it, who's done it, but in that ordinance that you did have me read, and I've had it read, I've reread it, and I've had Marge even reread it. And she's
No,
even.
I didn't, I told you I needed to.
Okay.
reread it, yes.
Excuse me, she didn't read it, she told me she would go home and read it. Where it states in there, foundation, slab, or other said-like material, and then we were told we could put skirting. So, if you want to come up and see what we've got done, I would greatly appreciate that you, Mr. Dager, take the time to please come up there and look what Kevin and I have gotten done. As long as Kevin and I are there, anyone is welcome on that property. We have no problem with that. If we're not there, I would appreciate it. Not for no one to come up there, because this whole crap about that sign that got put in my yard, of yard of the week, that started a big old turmoil, but it was done with someone saying that they thought we had done a good job of getting stuff cleaned up there. I am not a thief, and I am not a liar, and I say what I say, and I mean what I say, and I do what I say. Mr. Dager, you should know that. Many years since those boys were in school, I made sure
I
of
don't
it.
know anything about any sign.
Well, the yard of the week got put in my yard. Let's just leave it at that, okay? But speculations was made about that. But if I would like you, not Jim, not Jeremy, not Marge, not him, and not Donna, you, to come up there and look at what we've done and give your insight on that. And if you're afraid to come along, bring somebody else, because nobody's going to do anything, Mr. Dager. But there's been so many people telling us that they don't see why we're not being able to do skirting, and some of it's been town board members. So I would like you to come up there and see.
Well, the ordinance says slab or foundation?
Or other stud-like material.
I don't recall that. I don't recall that.
Read the ordinance.
I've read it several times. And once you have the slab in place, then you can have skirting. It's slab or foundation, slab or foundation. Once you have a slab, if you use that option, skirting is
Slab
accepted.
can't be an option now, Mr. Digger.
Who's that guy that you talked to?
I understand,
He's in
but
charge of all
that's
of
the
it.
way the ordinance, I wasn't even on the board.
I
when they
understand
wrote
that,
the
and I
ordinance.
respect that. I know, and that's what me
So
and Marge,
all I'm
Marge said, we
saying
not
is
talk
this is
about
what it
this.
says.
And Marge said she was gonna go home and read it. And it's pretty sure, I'm pretty sure
And
it
the attorney
states in
did
there.
write that for us.
I'm pretty sure what the
Anything
intent
he
was.
wrote.
The intent was that it creates something that was not unattractive. We talked about that.
And it won't be, Mr. Digger.
Well, it won't be when it's finished, no.
Right, but you gotta let me have that
I'm just saying
time.
that's what the intent was.
Okay.
From the standpoint of the deadline, a practical deadline is going to be the weather. In that,
Exactly, right.
you know, whether
Right.
you have, first of all, I didn't write any letter that said October 1st, but beyond that, a deadline may have been established because it isn't gonna work after, I mean, a pit's gonna be required once we get into the season when the ground is frozen.
Okay, but what does that
That's
have
where
to
the
do with
deadline
me
comes in.
getting that done? If I don't have that done, you're not gonna put the meter pit in.
That's what the ordinance says, yeah.
So in
I
other
will
words.
come up and look at your
Okay,
property.
I would appreciate that if you did, please, because I have no idea of what exactly,
Your meter's exposed right now.
I understand that, and it's,
This is your pipes there. You're
I,
gonna get
everything is
underground.
exposed until we get completely done up there, and that's what I'm trying to say is if we would've had to, if we did the slab in the very beginning, we had the argument, it's done, it's in the past, I don't wanna argue about it no more. It was foundation plus slab, now it's skirting and slab, or foundation. It's impossible. I've already lost over $3,000 on the original home that should have been moved into this place with trying to get the sewer and the water and everything done. But that's here nor there. That's my loss. I took my loss when I moved back to Alexandria. But if it's not up to your par and you guys want to buy that lot or know somebody that wants to buy it, let me know. Because I'll be out just as fast as I got in here. Because I don't want to beef, I don't want to fight, and I don't want to have to walk around every corner and have everybody whispering behind everybody's back. That's not what this town's supposed to be about. So if you would do that justice for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And then maybe Marge, you could read that because you've also made the statement that you thought there was no reason why I couldn't go ahead and go up with the skirting now.
Well, they're
So
putting the skirting, you saw that night when they were putting a block. Is that what, it was a block?
I'll come up and look at it.
I would
Take a
appreciate
look,
that.
but right now, the only way we could put the meter is out there totally exposed to
Right.
the elements, which is,
But we did
Not
ask to
good.
have it put in by the hot water heater too, to help
Yeah.
to bide some more time. And we thought that could be done. Was that not correct? We thought that could be done, and then a couple people stated no, it could not be done. So it is what it is. I just don't want, I want to keep making it look nice, and it'll get better with time.
have you been able to get under and get some more put in?
Kevin's been putting more skirting on it, but he's not gonna keep doing it if it's not gonna be what's asked, because we started on the foundation, then it was skirting, so we're at a standstill really, except for to keep going with the skirting for our benefit of freezing our pipes. After just putting in over $1,000 worth of plumbing, so.
They've got a reddish block, isn't it, Jeremy? But at the back, they were gonna use concrete blocks in the back. So I think best go up and take a look. And Mark, you go up and take a look too, see if that.
Just please make sure that
Meets that
somebody's there
ordinance.
so there's no.
Can I tell you why that ordinance came about, Tina?
I already know, and that's fine because of the house down here and other people, but I'm not them. I'm somebody else.
It was the exposure of those children that were the electrical wires.
And I
Yeah.
respect that, but I'm somebody else. I'm totally different. Just like I want people to start slowing down when they're flying up and down that road up there. I have grandchildren. My grandsons run across to check the mail because they're used to being out in the country. So people need to slow down up there too, you know. And I'm not in here to throw a bitch fit. I'm just here to open up and say, hey, this is supposed to be a community. Let's get the unity back. and start helping one another and talk amongst people instead of fighting constantly 24/7. That's all I want. And if you have a problem with somebody else in town, you know, that doesn't mean I have to have that same problem. So I can watch my own back. I appreciate it, and I can fight my own battles. But if somebody else wants to stand up and be my friend and talk to me and help me, hey, fine. But that doesn't always mean it's my opinion. So please, Mr. Dager, I come to you and I'm asking
I
you,
said I would to you.
and I respect that. Thank you, Mr.
And I'll
Dager.
make sure, I surely will make certain somebody's there.
Well, I would appreciate that. I just don't want no.
It won't be tomorrow, I'm attending a funeral tomorrow.
That's fine, Mr. Dager, when it's ever convenient for you. Kevin's number's in the phone book. Donna's
And I'll
got my
get up there
numbers.
before the end of the week, how's that sound?
Just give me a call. I'd greatly appreciate
Do you
it.
have a phone number?
Yep.
That I can reach you?
1901 is the last 4 digits of the home phone.
Is it 749?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
We need to vote.
did we have a motion and a second to adjourn? Okay, and so call question. Jeremy?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Marge?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So we are adjourned.